happy today. I am William Brown from IamWilliamBrown.com. Welcome to Disconnect to Connect, one word conversations. There's a lot of things happening in the studio here for me today. I moved my lights around a little, so hopefully I'm a little brighter or something. I've been like fighting with my shirt. It's just one of those days. But I am going to do whatever I can to stay within this conversation because that is this this is it. I am here, and the thing. So before I go any further, I have to remember to acknowledge the sponsor of the show is I Am William Brown, and I Am William Brown is a place for everything from items, books, journals, and cards to help you be yourself and to live your life. The spotlight, especially for this show, is our U cards, and I use it to set the intention for this conversation. And in this conversation, I have an I am card, a you are card, and a quote card. And my I am card today is I am seen. So I am seen. And my you are card is you are kind. And the quote for this conversation is before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. So that puts everything in perspective, and the intention is set. And with that in mind, we're going to introduce the word, which is let. So that's a fun word and an interesting word to have. And so I'm glad to have my returning friend, one of the few friends that have returned and got back on the calendar and back in the show, and I really enjoyed it the first time, and so I'm just looking forward to it. So here we are. Good morning.
Happy Wednesday to everyone. Good morning. And thank you so much for having me back.
No, this is great. This is backed by popular demand, right?
Well, yeah, the last show was had some riveting moments in it. So I'm hoping this one is the same
Right. Look, it's
and
all within the
inspiring.
right. It's all within the conversation. So this is the moment where I ask my guests to introduce themselves, however it feels comfortable to them.
All right. Well, my name is Melissa Price. I am 35 years old, born and raised in Detroit, Michigan, and I just celebrated my 12-year anniversary in Charlotte.
Wow.
Met my husband here, and we started a family. I've got two daughters, Charlotte and Sophie. They are 7.5 going, and another one's going on 9.
Right.
I'm a homeschool mom and an entrepreneur. I'm an author and an artist, and just in the business of kind of lighting up people's hearts. So
Wow. I love that. Lightening up people's hearts. That's what you do.
I try,
That's
but
what
the
you
world
do.
the world needs a lot of that right now. I know I
Abs-
need a lot of it myself too. So
right. And they say that when we get aware of ourselves, we give what we need. So it's like where the more that, love or laughter or anything, that is something that is needed in our life, and that is something that we want to share. So
absolutely.
you definitely do that. So how does the word let land for you?
Well, um, the last month when I was on your show, the word that I got was like super pertinent to me and how we met and our first major exchange in person. And so I gravitated towards that immediately. We were also going through a time in culture with the protests and everything in society, I should say,
Right.
where bravery was like a big thing to be discussed.
Right.
So when I saw the word let, I was like, my initial response was, "What? That's like and or
Right.
if, I'm like,
Right.
but I do remember one of your first episodes was the word no, and that still is one of my favorites to this day. That went like in so many levels. So I was like, initially kind of like, what am I going to do with that? Let, but
Right.
I said that was only for a fleeting couple minutes there, and I was like, "Ooh, a word challenge! I love words," so I'm like,
Right.
I took it on. The
Right.
word "let," I did spend a lot of time reflecting and pondering it um, since you gave it to me, and I was really most shocked at how prevalent that word is in just everything. It's
Hmm.
in song titles, it's in, books, it's in just let bygones be bygones, let go and let God, let it
Right.
in, let it out. Like we
Right.
just use that word an awful lot. So before I even went and looked up the dictionary definition, I kind of just sat with it like, what does that mean to me?
Hmm.
And I kept, and I can't get away from it still. And it is one of the dictionary definitions. But to me, the word let means allow, you know,
Hmm. Right.
in every sense. Like, I can't think of one phrase, whether it's let's go do this, or let something in, or let it go, or,
Right.
let it be, where that's not an allowance. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Absolutely.
And then you go
Absolutely.
into the word allow, and, there's like a sort of permission,
Right.
kind of an opening of a space when you let something happen or let someone in. You kind of are opening a door. I got
Right.
this concept from my cousin. I asked her, what's your perspective on it? And she's like, it's kind of like a gate. You're
Hmm.
like opening a door for something to happen, to allow for a change to happen. And I
Right.
just was, yeah, I've been really, really stuck on the whole positive side of let, meaning allow, whether it's
Right.
for you or someone else. So,
No, I totally get that. It was one of those things because it was coming up for me, and for me, how it lands is I think you mentioned it, permission. We
yeah.
have it is like looking at areas where I give myself permission, or I wait for other people's permission, or wait for permission for myself. There are so many areas that I haven't been letting, right, things happen. I was really stopping things. I was really kind of controlling or feeling that I didn't have permission. I wasn't allowed. I was and it was really interesting to see how I can say all these things that I want to happen, all these things that I need to happen, but all these things that I was stopping from happening.
Yes.
And it was just like, wow, let
Right.
just let right.
Just
Right.
let, just let.
Right. Right.
And,
Right.
what I kind of helped me get through the last time I was on when we were talking about brave, which I thought opened up a cool dynamic of a conversation, was the fact that what is the opposite of that? What is, if you're not brave, you're a coward. And so
Right.
then we got into the whole thing. Well, I guess brave is being there's a layer in there. You're not either a coward or brave. There's middle ground in there somewhere.
Right.
So I would say, like, even for the word let, which we're kind of going on the whole permission and allowing sort of concept with
Right.
it, as synonyms, so to speak. The opposite would be like to prevent
Right.
or close out kind of thing.
Right.
So I would ask you, like, when it comes to lets, do you think that there's layers within that, or that it's cut and dry? You either are letting something or totally blocking it out. Is there a middle
Right.
ground for this word?
Yeah, I definitely think I think there is on some level. Well, in some cases there is there's a saying that especially I hear within the entrepreneur space, right? Is
Yeah,
don't give up, don't
right,
let go, don't all those. So it's kind of you're holding on to something,
right,
you're kind of staying with it. And I've mentioned on a number of shows that I have this unhealthy relationship with consistency, right? So I,
me too.
you're right, I try
I
to
love
hold.
it, but I can't make it happen for whatever reason.
Right, and it's like you just feel like you want to hold on to things, you want to you know, be consistent and all that other kind of stuff. And I I recognize that I'm losing the flow of my life, the ease of my life. And I think within those levels, that we were talking about and that you're asking me, it may feel like there's levels of letting, you know, but in some cases it feels like you either do it or you don't.
Right.
You either let go or you don't. It's not like I'm like it's like trying. A lot of times, I've we talk about I'm trying to do something, and it sounds good, and especially when we're kids, we accept
Right.
that try. Oh well, you tried, and all that other kind of stuff. But the reality is that you either do it or you don't.
Right.
It's like the example is like try to touch your finger, right? It's like, okay, I'm trying, right? But it is like you either touch your other finger or you don't.
Right.
And I think in some cases that's how let is. It's either you let things happen or you
Or you
don't let
don't.
things happen, right?
Yes, I feel the same thing. Like an opposite of the other word we discussed that was very tiered. I feel like this is kind of you do or you don't. It's black or white kind of thing. Like
Right.
there's not really a gray zone. You either allow it or you don't. There isn't like I'll kind of allow it. I'll kind of let it happen. It's either going to
Right.
happen or not. But
Right.
I did, like I said, I was really just shocked, I think, most of all, about how prevalent that word is in everything. Like it's just
Right.
so heavily used in regular conversation. It's part of book titles and, songs and lyrics and scripture verses. It's just, I don't know. I really hold on to it as a very positive vibe word. And again, in the beginning, I was kind of like, it's like, what am I going to
Right.
do with let? But it's really, it's kind of
Right.
a really, you can breathe and sit and kind of take that word in. Anthony
Right.
Whitsit's on, and he made a cool comment. He said that the word let grants access.
Hmm.
I think
Yeah.
that's totally true. Like you're opening a door for something to happen, something to shift, something to change, whether you're letting go of something or letting something in.
Right.
It's a doorway for you know, change
Right.
for a
Right.
shift.
Right. I think it speaks to the flow of life.
Mhm.
It's like when you I like water. I'm a water sign. I love the beach. I love, the river. That's why I live in Greenville, because there's like a waterfall in downtown Greenville. So it's like
What is your sign, by the way?
Cancer.
Cancer. I'm a Virgo.
Right.
I'm a Earth baby. We take care
Right.
of each other.
Right. So hey, so it's just really feel the more that I'm able to go with the flow, or let things happen, things work out. But most of the times, I don't know if it's because of conditioning or because how I was raised and some people that I were around, I feel like I have to stop the flow. I have to stop, something. I
Right.
have to manage, something. I have
Not
to,
let
right,
not
not
let
let,
stuff
right,
happen. As a
right,
mother of young children, that's a pretty common thread. I'm not going to let you do this. So I'm not going to let you do that. You're not going to do this, you
right,
know. But yeah, so the letting, uh, almost we can say we need to embrace the let. You know what I
right,
mean? The
right,
allowance, the doorway. I like that he said that it grants access because I feel like when we open ourselves up,
right,
when we allow, when we let, it connects you to source. It connects your
right,
heart and kind of like your spirit. It aligns you, I would say, and
right,
connects you again with your source, with your spiritual gifts, and you know the proper mindset that God wants you to have. You know what I mean? When we
right.
let, it's opening a space in your heart for something to change. I keep going back to that. It is it's just it is a doorway, that word.
Right. Yeah, and it's and the way you've noticed that it is so much a part of our language, our songs, our just our
But whoever
expressions.
stops to think and think about it. I
Right.
wouldn't have until last week, and I'm like, huh. I've, I've never would have thought to contemplate that word, but it was a really great experience this whole week, just kind of reflecting on it, and I didn't have any like a long list of profound things to say about it, but the few that I have, I'm really like attached to with it,
Right.
and so I feel like embracing the let would be a
Right.
thing for to like offer people and say, let it be. For an example, okay, before I get on and do these shows ever, I have to bribe my children. They have the radar for when mommy's either on the computer or on the phone. As
Right.
soon as they hear hello,
Right.
mom, they start going nuts, or I need this, I need that. Sophie smacked me with the doll, blah. So I just bribe them for the hour that I'm doing these things. You can do your device, or let's make a snack, or you can use mommy's paint, whatever. And I said, for this, I had to work myself up for it. I only told the kids once, don't come in and do shenanigans as soon as mommy gets on this. And I embraced the concept of let it be.
Right.
Whatever happens, let it be. If they blast in here and start going nuts, I'm going to be like, look at me letting it happen.
Right.
See, I'm embracing the let. So
Right. No,
I kind of let go. And,
right.
you know, but see how many times I use that word just in that
Right.
minute? It's like we use it all the time. And no one really takes the time to think about how how deep and what it kind of does, you
Right.
know?
I really get back to it's like a longing of our soul, of our
Yes.
essence, right?
Yes.
To let, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And I think that's why it shows up in our language so much. And I think and I really appreciate you, taking on, letting it go because, a part of this conversation is the reason why I do it live. There's a number of reasons. One reason is that I don't want to get bogged down in editing because that's
Right.
I would do that, right?
Yes. Then
I wouldn't.
you're doing it twice then, you know?
Right, and it's just like nope, it's done. But the
Right.
but the other thing is to really get the power of conversations.
Hmm.
Anything comes up within conversations. Distractions come up. All our minds are distracted. We hear this crazy noise, but we're still trying to stay in conversation. And so I wanted to be able to let things
Hmm.
happen,
Yes.
let me have a brain freeze and forget what I was going to say. Let
Right.
let the technology do some crazy things, but still be committed to having a conversation. Proves the power of the conversations and
Right.
the commitment to stay in it. Too often, especially
Hmm.
in our culture, something happens and it's like I'm out.
Oh yeah, yeah. Let's run away from
And
that.
right, it's just like I'm gonna come back when when you're focused or or something like that. But sometimes the more that we stay in it, let it happen, let disruptions happen, let distractions happen, let those things happen, then we can see. I guess I'll speak for myself. I can see the level of commitment that I have to it because
Right.
sometimes to be honest, things that I don't let happen, I didn't want to do in the first place.
Right.
Right?
No. That's true. That's
And,
true.
and it's like I'm just waiting for an out, right?
Right.
It's
I'm not
like
looking for it. Like,
right,
yeah.
so it's like the more that I'm able to really honor my yeses, honor my commitments, then I can let things happen. Then I can be in those moments. Then I can stay that. And I think really getting back to I don't know if it's intuition or or just following our leading or the Holy Spirit, whatever the language is. But the more that we allow, like Anthony was saying, allow that access, the more that we gain access. It's like I love how when Lisa would talk about Lisa Santiago for those of you who don't know our friend when she would talks
Yay.
about the keys, right? And so I have unlike the keys, I like that image of the keys, but I look at the doorway, a
Hmm.
lot of times that there is a lot of doors that I have opened or that have opened up to me that I still have a choice to go through. I
Right.
gain access to it, right? But I
Right.
have to give myself permission to walk through it,
Right.
to even go through. And there's a lot of things that don't happen in my life because I don't have that permission.
Right.
That, it's like, hey, it's open for a reason. You've worked so hard at this, you know, enjoy it. Let yourself enjoy it. Let yourself experience it, and really kind of move from there. And it's kind of, I don't know if what just came up for me was, worthiness, and really kind of, am I worthy to let it be, to
Right.
let this happen, or to kind of do that. And it's that questioning that sometimes comes up for me,
I could see
that
that.
that it just, that stops things in their tracks. And I just really, so that's, like I said, that's when it first came up for me. It was permission, and seeing where I was giving myself permission and not giving myself permission.
Yeah. I think, like I said, when you let things happen, there is that doorway and connection there. And I think it imparts like this breath of freedom, a chance, some hope, some movement. Um, I I agree with when you were saying sometimes when you don't let things happen, there are things you didn't want to deal with in the first place, like
Right.
going to that horribly boring wedding or whatever, like I'm not gonna let that happen, I didn't really want to do it anyways. But like I feel like when we don't let things happen, whether it's we didn't let ourselves walk through that door we could have, or
Right.
we didn't like go to the friend's wedding, or I didn't let my kids have that extra piece of candy or whatever, I always walk away when that let door closes feeling a little like a little burdened, a little
Right.
closed off
Right.
a bit when I don't allow things to happen because I feel like the letting also ties in with faith and hope
Right.
to me.
Right. Yeah.
I'm a person that kind of believes that everything happens for a reason. I know that, like, for me, I believe in God and I believe that He's got my back. He's got a plan, and I'm not going to pretend that I see it, I understand it. But I think that He wants us to like roll with it, let it happen.
Right.
There's a lot of scripture verses out there that have let in there. And so I feel like that word, when you allow things to happen, when you let things in, when you let it go on, even if it's not your ideal thing, like
Right.
there's that plan, that bigger plan going on. And if you've got faith, mustard seed faith,
Right.
or hope, and that belief that anything happens, everything happens for a reason, you can embrace the let and
Right.
just like it's almost like Jesus, take the wheel.
Right.
I surrender. I'm going to let it go, even though this is not really what I saw going down today, or this isn't exactly where I thought I was going to be in my career right now, or,
Right.
I'm going to like let it ride and
Right.
see,
Let it
you
ride.
know? That's another one, let it ride. So many ways we use it. It's crazy. Um,
No,
and
it's
conversely, like I said, when you don't let things happen, I feel like you're closing off a chance to see the greater picture, the bigger plan. Um, you could potentially be passing up an opportunity to meet somebody or experience something that you wouldn't have had you just let it happen, even though it's outside your comfort zone, you
right.
know? So,
It's
yeah.
it's it's very interesting because I totally get and appreciate your everything happens for a reason. My current lie is that I don't believe that. I believe that
Okay.
no.
Tell me why.
So I believe um, things happen and we give them reason. We
Okay.
make we make a
We
reason for
make
them.
our own reasons for
Right.
it. Yeah.
And
Okay.
so within that, it is what reason that I am going to bring to this. And because I try to really work through, all things work together, right?
Right.
For good. So
For
all
good.
things.
Yep. I like
So
that.
so the more that because I love God, and like you said, don't understand everything that's happening and not
Mm-mm.
happening. And I don't want, and because the reason why I shifted was I would blame God and give God credit for like things that were happening. And
Okay.
it's like sometimes I felt like, God has nothing to do with this, right? I did this myself. All this, no, don't be blaming God on this, right?
Right.
On this one, I got myself into this mess. And so the more that I just say, okay, this is what's happening, Lord, you already knows what's happening and everything like that. Help me create the story, the reason, the meaning, and give me the understanding so I can, let this happen, or not fight this, or not, or not miss out on that that scripture of everything works to the good, for our good, and paraphrasing that, and it's like there's a freeing in that for me to just not get so caught up on things, because I mean that's the hack that I have for myself, because
Yeah.
like I said, there is something happens and then I'll go, well, why did this happen, or
Right.
why did she say this, or what is that good, and it's just like,
Overanalyze.
and it's just kind of just going and going and going, and it's like, you know what, yeah, I don't know what that's all about, but all right,
Right. Right.
we'll see where this goes, right?
Right.
And just kind of, because it's more about, I've learned for myself, it's more about my response. It's more about my how I handle or
You
manage or
you act
let,
or react.
right,
Right.
and that creates the, I guess, the letting, and it's like, that, then it comes back for me for, for brave, our other
Hmm.
word. It's like, all right, am I afraid right now? Is the reason why I'm not letting this happen is because of fear?
Right.
It's like,
It's
is,
kind of funny how they do coincide a bit, isn't it? Who
right,
would have
and
thought?
it's right, hey, who would have thought, right?
Who would have thought these two words would have matched up real
Right,
good, you know?
right, and it's really for me that I believe in this moment. This just came to me, so it might not sound perfectly right,
That's all
but
right.
I think in this moment in my life, and I think also in yours, because we're having this conversation here, is that there are things that we need to be aware of are letting, so we can be brave.
Hmm.
There is going to be fear, or there is going to be things that fear will show up, but the more that we let and be brave in our letting, things will happen way beyond what we can imagine. So I don't know what that's, like I said, where that came from, but that
I'm
is
with you though. I'm with you
that is
on
what
it.
I feel.
I'll throw out a scripture verse at you that doesn't have the word let in it, but I'm pretty sure that it means let.
Right.
Uh what about be still and know that I'm God? What is he saying there? Sit and let me
Right.
do my job.
Right.
Understand I'm
Right.
here.
Right.
I know what's going to happen. I've got it under control. So he wants you to sit
Right.
and breathe and let
Right.
him handle it, you know?
Right.
So to me, I
Right.
mean that's a really powerful one, and that goes with, again, with being brave and giving up the
Right.
control and allowing and
Right.
opening the door, cuz humans, we like to have control, and a lot of us go completely haywire when we don't have it in any
Right.
area, whether you don't have control over your emotions or your children or your finances or your spiritual preferences, or like some people struggle spiritually and where they need to be,
Right.
when we don't have control, that's when we all kind of go nuts. But I
Right.
feel that's when we are not letting things happen, when we're trying to put the not on the let, and instead of embracing the let,
Right.
is kind of, to allow everything to happen, to be in that let space. You're
Right.
kind of putting yourself in
Right.
a place of faith, a place of uncertainty, and a place where you're kind of relinquishing a little bit of control there. And
Right.
so that there's fear and courage
Hmm.
and bravery that goes in there, all hand in hand with the let word.
Right.
So,
No, I like I said, until that just came up for me right now. It is the reason why I haven't been letting, or my lettings are few, right? Right.
so
Is
let me ask you,
right.
what are you letting happen for you right now, and what are
Right.
you not letting happen for you right now?
Right. What
If I
I'm
can flip it on you.
Oh, you flip it on me. It's like, whose show is this, right? No, I'm just messing with you.
It's a
No,
conversation. We go back and forth.
right, absolutely, and no, and I definitely appreciate it, and I think the one thing that I am letting happen, I'm letting, um, this is really kind of strange. It's because I'm like editing what I'm letting happening. It's like I'm not letting me say what I'm letting
Yeah,
happening,
just
which
say
is
it.
funny,
Just let it
right?
be. That's just be
it's
real.
it's I am allowing people to see that I'm not perfect, that I am real, because I've had this image, I had this label that I had all my shit together, you
Right.
know? And so every time people would see me, I would be this,
You
well
have
organized
to.
thoughts and all
Right.
that other kind of stuff.
You
I
have to put the face on. Put that.
Right.
Wear that label.
Bill's good for one, good profound thing to say, and just kind of, that'll do me for the rest. It's like mic
Just
drop, and
one.
then right, and it's like I try to just one, right,
Right.
but and just kind of go from there. But I've been letting this, um, I guess, the process of me becoming profound, or whatever that is, and my process of just sharing that, it has been very, stressful, let's just say the least, because it's
Because
like,
it's transformation. You're letting a
right,
transformation
right,
unfold, and transforming can be a little bit uncomfortable, just like growing pains.
right,
So that's a good thing.
right. And it's just real. It's been very interesting how, my process of letting people see behind the curtain. And
Right.
sometimes I say, because in high school I was, the Wiz. I was, the Wizard of Oz, and everything. And so that image of, the all powerful, but behind the curtain, like, the scared,
Right.
person, I've been allowing people to see that, yes, I am power, I have power, and all that, but behind that is this fearful, confused, all this other stuff that is also present,
The
and
not
that,
letter is
right,
the letter and the not
right,
letter.
right, and like I said, and that was something that not too many people saw, and I think that's why I did not have some deep connections that I thought I needed or wanted, because there was this image of Bill, of William. There
Your
wasn't
picture,
this,
your facade, your
right,
mask, your labels.
right, and for a long time that was okay, that was enough. But when we all know, when shit hits the fan, that picture doesn't work.
Right. No, no.
Right, right,
When life is in session, you gotta
right, right,
transform.
right. And so really allowing that, and letting people see that, and showing that for myself, has really caused, this show to happen. The one reason why I didn't do as much, Facebook lives, or videos, is because I won all the bloopers when I was doing videos, and it's like, oh good lord, I'll never gonna get this done,
So you've
because
got to
I
put those in at the end there. So
right,
it's, you're
you
like
know
your little like 10-second outro. all your little
Right.
takes, you know?
All the takes that would be
Yeah.
hilarious. You know,
Yeah.
but at the same time, and during these lives, I had so many reasons for not doing it, and the fact that you know when I started the show, I'm fighting with my shirt, and it's like it could be better and all that other kind of stuff, and it's just like
I'm
you
the
know what,
same
we're
way. I'm the
live.
same way. Before I come on to this, I'll tell you, I was like, oh my God, I gotta make sure. I gotta make sure everything looks good, you know, up to
Right,
the
but
last minute. The lighting's wrong, you know,
right, but
but you
the
could
more
just
that
let it
we
happen.
right let it happen, let it be, you know, let it ride, then we're able to have these beautiful conversations and really
Yeah.
be, you know, and just to learn this. And it is just something. And I think the areas where I'm still not letting is I'm even though I've embraced some of the bigness of my life, I still feel like it's like, yeah, let's do that, but oh yeah, that's pretty crazy. I can't tell them that. I can't tell them everything that I
You're
see.
looking
I
for
can't
that
tell them
gray
everything.
zone. You're looking for
Right,
the gray zone between letting and not letting, and it's not. It's kind of like being
right,
stuck in limbo. It's stagnant. It's stagnant water. Nothing happens in
right,
that zone. So
right,
you gotta jump in, or
right,
you gotta wait till you're
right,
ready to jump in. You know.
right. And that's what we were saying before, that you either let or you don't.
Hmm.
And that's, I mean, it's not good or bad. It's just acknowledge that I'm not letting this happen right now.
Right.
It's like you're not having cake for breakfast, right? You know, I mean, it's
Right.
like this. That's you
Exactly.
know, it's that type of thing. We can, you know, we can have a conversation about it or not have a conversation, but this is not gonna happen. And just own that. And I think the more that I own why I am not letting things happen in my life, and I think sometimes it comes down to how people are going to respond, you know what you know, one, if I don't fully understand it, because I
Hmm.
think sometimes I need to feel like I have to have full understanding everything and out
I'm the
before
same way. I got to know
anybody
every
knows anything.
stitch of the details before I make a decision, kind of thing. That's by nature how I am. But after like I said, I've been spending a lot of time thinking about this lately, how the not letting really closes doors and blocks things for you. So
Right.
I have really adapted this let it be mentality since you gave me the word. And it's like I've had a pretty productive yet even keel kosher week. And like
Okay.
when stuff happens, I'm like, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. You know, whisper words of wisdom, let it be, you know.
Great.
And I
That
have
is great.
actually not gone nuts this week. So
Well, well, that's
it's
great.
happened. You know, I'll give you another example. Something that I'm changing in the letting world. I have been in the past, I've gotten better over it recently, but in the past, I have been like dubbed a blessing blocker, not letting
Mm,
other people have a chance to help me when I need help. You know,
mm,
I'm not a
got
big
it.
person that asks for help, but when people see I need it and they have wanted to extend help to me, be it financial reasons or otherwise, I'm usually like, no, I can do it myself. I can't do that burden on you. I'm not going to let that happen, you know? And
Right.
I've begun recently, like I said, somebody schooled me and said, you're robbing other people of a chance. How good do you feel when you help somebody else out and they let you?
Mm,
I'm like, I feel great, you know? And they say, well, when
great.
you're not allowing other people to help you, you're blocking that and the flow of abundance. And I've recently begun accepting help, letting people
Mm,
help me. And
wow.
because of that, I've been able to flip around and in a place where I'm thought totally incapable of blessing people. I've, because of this, been able to be a blessing in so many different ways. It like
Wow.
keeps it flowing. By receiving, you're able to give, and by giving, other people receive and are also able to
Right.
give. So when you let stuff happens, it opens a doorway for shifting and movement and opportunity. And it's a
Right.
scary door to walk through sometimes,
Right.
but you got to
Right.
remember you're not alone. Whether you believe in
Right.
God or not, which I do, you know,
Right.
you got friends, you got people out there. You're not the only person in the world struggling with not letting or letting too much happen. So I don't know.
Right.
I'm like really gonna be holding strong onto this whole let it be, just let. That doesn't mean I'm
Well,
throwing up all the arms and just like
r-
not
right.
I'm not gauging anything anymore. But
Right.
yeah, I think everybody should really kind of reflect on that word and try to like let be
Right.
a
I
letter today.
right, right. No, I really appreciate you sharing that because I'm also, a blessing blocker because, I'm concerned with everyone else. And it's
Right. You don't
like
want
the
to be a
more,
burden, and
right,
somebody else has got it way worse than you, and I don't,
right.
so
All
yeah.
the things that we say, right? All the stories that we say. And it's just that the world of letting, right?
Hmm.
I feel like there is a power. There's more of a power in that than even within that surrender. There is power in that surrender
Oh yeah.
because it gives us access. And
Hmm.
so I think you quickly shared in that story. It is it is not that, woe is me. I
Right.
need all this type this help, or people to
Right.
pity me and all that other kind of stuff. It is I'm I'm allowing abundance to come in my life. I'm
Right.
allowing, in an area that is lack.
Right, but
It's
that required bravery and courage and
right,
swallowing pride and
right,
transformation. So with the
right,
letting, there comes transformation. Whether you're letting or not
right,
letting, there is a transformational and a door opening
right.
presence with that word. And
Wow.
there's a
No,
million experiences I think we could all talk about, different areas and moments where we've either let or not let things
right.
happen. And yeah,
Wow.
taking the time to talk about it and reflect on it has been a game changer. I thought it was such a
Right.
silly word in the first few minutes.
Right.
I looked at it like, really? He's got faith in
Right.
me. I'm gonna take this
Right.
and run to the park with this.
Right. No, and like I said, and that's why I appreciate you, and how you show up in the world, and just kind of going after it, and just kind of seeing is what is possible, you
Right.
know? And the only way that we can really get access to possibility is by you know, letting things go, letting things
Right.
happen, letting things
Going with the
and all
flow,
that.
you know? Let
Going with that.
Yep. They say,
Right.
when you can't change the direction of the winds, you adjust your sails. That's going with the flow. Let it happen and adjust with
Right.
it. Because
Wow.
there's always gonna be a blessing in every lesson. There's always
Right.
gonna the reason and the rhyme for it will manifest, even if it's not right away. And even
Right.
if it's not the desired outcome by you letting something happen, we grow in those moments. We learn in those moments. I never consider
Right.
that failing. You
Right.
can go on and know what you need to let happen next to remedy that
Right.
one, and you learn from it. So
Right. Absolutely. We could talk about this for hours, but I'm sure
always.
there's other. I think you have to let your kids make some noise today, right?
Oh, they're good. They're
And kind
they're
of do
watching a show. I
that.
told you I bribed them. They're good. They
Right.
know when I'm
so
online.
so
There's
so so
ice
they're good.
cream coming.
Right. There are so many. I have adult children now, and I can remember in the parenting process that when there when there were challenges that we couldn't be solved by a cookie, right? I mean,
Oh,
it's
we're getting to
right,
those now. I'm in
right,
scary, scary territory, man. Puberty, everything else is beginning, and I'm like, what's this
so
attitude? You told me no, and you asked
right,
for a cookie after?
Right.
you
You
know,
know, it's
we're
like
not going to let that happen, you know?
so. Is there any last thing that you want to leave everybody with? I when when I did some things earlier today, you sent me your link, and when I left and came back, the link wasn't there anymore. But if you can just share your link and some of the things that you're up to, and maybe some of our viewers that know you and love you that are watching, they can put your link in the chat
If
for
not,
you.
I
But
can
is
go
there any
back and
last
we'll do
thing?
it in the replay. We'll make it happen.
Absolutely,
But
absolutely.
no, I would say as far as the word goes, I would encourage everybody to like spend today and see, like, count how many times you use the word let, and then evaluate what it means to you. And then what are you letting happen in your life and not letting happen in your life? And how do both of those make you feel? I went through quite a journey with this word my whole week. I just couldn't get it out of my head because who knew such a little word would bring so much
Right.
out. So I would encourage everybody to take a moment and really see what that word means to you, reflect on it, and then embrace your inner letter. Be a letter today, even just for today. Let it
Right.
be, let it
Right.
happen. um,
Wonderful.
and otherwise, I just got great news. My book should be up on Amazon tomorrow, and I'm getting
Whoa!
my first soft copy. So it'll still be a couple weeks till it's like available and
Right.
like able to ship out or whatever. But it's officially on Amazon. Will be marked available hopefully today or tomorrow. And first copy's coming, and I'm gonna do a video of that when that happens.
Oh wow.
But the name of the book is Lessons We've Learned, Legacies of Life. Um,
Wow.
it's a great book. I wrote it with my mom. I had a lot of people help and submit content, whether it was quotes or testimonies of their life in certain areas. And it gives you all the feels. You'll laugh. You'll probably cry a little.
Right. No, you froze there. I don't know if you're going to come back. Okay, so we're frozen out. I will take Melissa out, and if she starts moving in the preview, I'll let her or come back. Yeah, I'll bring you back in before we can leave.
Okay.
That was a great freeze moment there. So it's
I
like
know.
usually when the technology freezes us, we're in
In the
our most
middle.
graceful look, right?
Right.
Right. So you were
um,
saying
the book
about your book, right? Yeah.
and I have a bunch of artwork and spirit squares, all kinds of services and whatnot you can find, and greeting cards that we hand make out of our art and photography. You can find them all on my e-commerce store, which is www.lessonsandlegacies.company.site, and I'll
One.
post that up in the comments below. But yes, the book's available there for pre-order. I've got a lot of our other empowerment authors' books on there, and a lot of art and inspiration and essential oils, all kinds of good finds. So
Yeah.
please take a look and shop around and leave some feedback. I'd appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much. This has definitely been a blessing. It's always a pleasure to talk with you.
I love
Uh,
coming on, and I hope to come back for a three-peat.
it's
One of
there there's going to be some um, changes or some shifting in everything, but yeah, I'll definitely have you back on. So,
Anytime.
all
You
right.
can call me up in a second and I'll fill in. I love coming on your show and I love the conversations and I love sharing this. So thank you, thank you, thank you for having me again.
No, thank you. Be blessed, my friend. We'll say goodbye in our in after the green room. Wow, this is yeah, it's what is coming to me right now. It's like who knew? You know, let gives us access to the flow of life. Is that profound, right? It's really what are you letting happen? And I love how Melissa said that the world, the letting world. you know, and just if we do it for the day, and just see what we're letting happen. So I would love to hear how let is showing up in your life, and I hope that this conversation added value to you. If you want to have conversations like this, I encourage you to go to iamwilliambrown.com and sign up for one of my complimentary coaching sessions, and just kind of see how I talk to you to see if there is something that you need to let happen in your life so you can be yourself and live your life. The world wants you, the world needs you, and the world is waiting for you. So go be you. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you soon.